Hey folks, welcome back to the channel, and we're continuing on here, having a look at, well, in the last review I looked at the Transformers Generations Legends class Scrapnel, and I figured, why not kind of stay buggy? Why not continue on with the next in that line, which would be the Combiners Legends class Bombshell. He has his strengths, he has his weaknesses, he's a bit of a mixed bag. Stick around and we're going to discuss everything Bombshell in the latest GotBot True Review. Okay folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot, and as always, you know that I appreciate you coming by. Please like, comment, subscribe, check out Machinery Men, The Everything Factor, and of course, check me out everywhere. We're going to get right into this guy and talk about his paint apps right off the bat. They're about a 7.5. Some people are probably a bit shocked by that score, but they're about a 7.5. They're good, but they do certainly have their issues. In robot mode, he has purple on the chest. And honestly, in robot mode, he should have gray on the chest. I understand that you either have to be accurate in bug mode or accurate in robot mode, because for some reason when he transformed, that section changed from purple to gray. He has hands in the animation. I don't really know what you call these little cannon-like pieces. There are hand holes there, but it's not really hands. That's all I can say. And I feel like his head, as good as it is, might be missing out on a little bit of silver on the upper part. I feel like that kind of ranged sometimes between silver and black, so I kind of see why they would do this. But overall, it's good. It's not perfect, and I feel like we'll say the yellow pieces on him kind of have an orange tinge, and because they have that orange tinge, it sort of is slightly off. It's good, it's just these things do stand out to me. Now, that being said, the purple looks great, the orange yellow, it looks great. He's painted with really nice paint. It's just a little bit off, and I feel like the purple is maybe a little bit off of what I would think the animation purple is. I feel like the purple on Scrapnel, whatever you want to call him, is a little bit better. Posability, playability. Again, he has strengths, he has weaknesses, and he has a couple of oddities. The head, it can, you can close it like this. I don't know if it's on a ball joint and able to go left or right. If it is, you're not really going to be able to move it because he has this part up over top and he has a couple of huge shoulder pieces. I'm going to say that he doesn't have head articulation. The shoulders, they can go, well out. That's nice. There's a nice 90-degree elbow bend. There's a swivel because of the ball joint in there. So his arm and his arms can go all the way around. All of that, fantastic. Fantastic. He has a waist swivel. Awesome for a figure of this class, of this size. The legs can go well out to the sides. That looks great. Well forward, way back. I don't understand why he has like pegs on his knees. I don't really get that. Some have said it's for a fan mode for a blaster where he was part of Combiner Wars, even though he's not officially supposed to be joined with anyone. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. And the knees. If you have the bug legs all the way back, you're only getting about that far in terms of a knee bend. Nothing great. Nothing to get excited about. If you open these out, you can get a super deep knee bend, really because of transformation, but a super deep knee bend. Now some people will say, I don't like these way out to the side. Well, you don't need them all the way out. You just need them out far enough to pass his leg. So you can see the difference in the two legs, but you can see, exactly how far out you need to have them if you want to have a great knee bend. So I'm going to give his posability, playability, I'm going to give it an 8.5. He's pretty great, but he does lose a little bit because you can't really turn his head to look in other directions. Maybe you can if you're, you know, a little more precise than me and the head actually does move and I just can't get to it. But I got a feeling that that head is pretty stationary, folks. And the knees, you got to do a little bit of finagling with the knees, so that hurts him a little bit. Right now, between a 7.5 and an 8.5, this guy's scoring an 8. Now we're going to get into transformation. And I know how the instructions say to do it. I'm not quite going to follow them. I'm going to do it a little bit alternate because I find it a bit easier. With the instructions, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like a whole lot of stuff is done. By the way, I don't have it here in hand, but this guy did come with a collector card. It is his package art. There's no stats on it. It's a collector card. Anyway, back to his transformation. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like everything was kind of done and then you sort of finish off with the arms. I think it's easier if you do the arms first. So just before we get into transformation now, you know, for a couple of size comparisons here so that we know, you know, exactly what it is we're dealing with. Here he is with Skull Smasher, and I looked at Skull Smasher and a little bit of custom paint work I did on his visor in episode 152. Here he is with the Titans Return Rumble or Frenzy, depending on your sensibilities, and I looked at this guy in full in episode 144. So, you know, he matches up well with modern figures, and of course, perhaps the thing that most people would like to see, here is Bombshell, here is his teammate, Scrapnel. You can see that the purples are a slight shade different. I kind of like the purple on Scrapnel better. You can see that the yellow's off. I think that they might have went with the slightly orange variation on Bombshell so that the paint would be a little more crisp, because with Scrapnel it's fuzzy in places, and I looked at Scrapnel in episode 167, so we'll take him out of it and jump right into the transformation for this guy. Like I said, we're going to start off with his arms, and I'm doing that for a reason. If you look under his arm, I don't know if it's better to show it side on or if it's better to show it front on, but there's a little tab right here. And there's a tab in the same spot on the other arm. There's also a slot below it or a slot above it, depending where the tab is. The bottom line is that this tab slots into the hole on this arm, and this tab slots into the hole on this arm. They line up. I find if you do that last, it's going to be really, really hard to line those up. So we're going to take his waist and we're going to turn it around, because we will need that done. And we're going to take the arms and bring them down straight. You fold them in at the shoulder joint and fold it in at the shoulder joint. We can take this whole piece here and we can flip it back and we can flip it up. And in the end, this is what the entire front of the bug section is going to look like. But we have the arms flipped in on the side. After they're flipped in, you want to sort of angle the arms back at the elbows a little bit so that they look like this. Now you need to put these pegs, I guess technically one above the other, and they sort of lock into the arms that way. Putting these pieces in, not the easiest thing to do. I find it's sort of better if you have them angled out a little bit like this. And once you have them pegged in, you just push them down against the body. Now you come to the lower legs and you open out a bug leg there, and you open out a bug leg here. These two legs will tab together. There's a little tab right there, and it slots into a hole on this leg. Now do not just push them together, because there's a little thickened part on this peg, so you actually need to slide, if I can do it here, and does not want to let me do it. There you go. You need to slide you need to slide one leg into the other. And once you have the legs slid together, you just fold them up over. Or you should just, there you go. You just fold them up over like that. And these little peg pieces here, most people fold them down, but you can leave them out at your call. And in the end, boom, there you go, Bombshell in his bug mode. I think it's pretty convincing bug mode, to be honest with you. In terms of articulation in this mode, well, this piece can move up and down, and he can actually sort of turn a little bit right here, still at the waist. The bug legs, they don't really move or do much. I mean, it's bug legs. How much does it really need to move, I guess? But it looks good. This looks like Bombshell. I think it's great. His transformation is pretty quick, pretty easy. I'm going to give it a 9. I really enjoy it. Now, last but not least, I'm just going to show this for kind of the fun of it. People mention like a blaster mode. Well, these are 5mm pegs. They could go in anybody's hand, but who's really going to hold a blaster that looks like this? So what a lot of people do is they will take the arms and split them, and there are different ways to do this, by the way, and they bring that one out and they turn this one and bring it out, still keep them sort of turned in like the bug eyes, and this is what they kind of end up with. Some people will also slip in the legs a bit. That's your call, I guess. And this is kind of what you straighten that up. This is kind of what you end up with. Okay, if that's what you want. Overall, what do I think of this guy? Like I said, he's a little bit of a mixed bag, but if I had to give him, an overall score, I'm going to say that this guy's like a 9. He's pretty great. He was an 8.5. We gave his transformation a pretty high number, maybe an 8.75. Maybe I should say 8.75. I enjoy him. I like the way he looks with, my chug shelf. I can't wait to get the last member of this trio. I just wish that the paint was a bit of a color match that was better between the two. Anyway, he's a 9. If you looked over Bombshell and said, I think he's worth going back and reconsidering. That's it. We've had a look at this guy, and I guess now we wait until we get a Titans Return kickback. Can't wait for that one. In the meantime, what can I say? Thanks for dropping by as always. I appreciate you giving me a little bit of your valuable time, and I certainly look forward to the next time that you and I get together right here for another visit inside the videos.